guys, welcome back. So today I'm gonna do a full Mani Boss Mani. If you follow them on Instagram or in their Facebook group, then you see that they just came out with dip liquids as well as a peel base not too long ago. So as soon as they released, I grabbed myself the full set of liquids, the peel base, just so that I could test them out. I did go ahead and put on 2 coats of the peel base, so I will update you guys here and there and let you know how the peel base is working and how many coats I find works for me. As you can see in the dip base bottle as well as the dip top coat, it has that really nice wiper insert that you guys hear me talk about all the time. I love the one that just kind of grips, not really grips, but it catches the sides of the brush so that you don't get too much liquid on your brush, and that's going to help for thinner layers during application. I know it sounds silly. A lot of people look for like a really good formula in a dip liquid, which I do too. But for me, it can be the best dip liquid in the world if the bottle is cheap and it doesn't have a wiper insert. I'm probably not going to like it because I find when it doesn't have the insert, it takes me longer because I have to keep constantly wiping my brush onto my bottle. Like when I used the Revel liquids, there's no wiper insert in there whatsoever. The mouth of the bottle is huge, so it took me longer to do that mani because I had to keep wiping the brush off because liquid is just constantly pooling down to the bottom. So I actually have no complaints about these liquids whatsoever. I don't think I let my peel base quite dry long enough because you'll see it almost seemed like the dip base dried before I could get my finger in the powder for the first dip. So I don't know if I didn't let my peel base dry long enough, or sometimes you just have situations where it almost seems like the liquid wants to just act weird on you with the peel base. It does not mean that they're bad liquids by any means, and I'm actually going to show you a little trick because I feel like if any of you have been dipping for a while, then you could have even had this happen just with a regular base without even using peel base, and you'll have certain spots that dry faster before you can get it in your dip. So when I get onto the glitter nail, I'm going to actually show you my little trick to kind of help that. So I'm going to tell you what colors I'm using first because I talked way too long about the liquids, but I do love them. I think you should all go check them out. So this black that I'm using is called Magic Dust. It is a really gorgeous black. It has a real subtle shimmer to it. It's so good. And I'm going to ombre it with a Mani Boss glitter called Antique Golden Rose. Wait till you guys see it. But I'm going to let you watch. I'm going to finish up my dips in this gorgeous black. You all know how I feel about a good black dip, and this is where it's at. So I'm going to let you guys watch, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I did just want to pop back in here real quick because I'm sure you can see that since I've brushed off, I had a couple spots on, I believe it was my pinky and my index more than my ring finger, where the dip just didn't adhere. But the good thing is that since I chose this darker color dip, it's not going to be an issue, because usually when you do have that problem and the base dries before you can get it in your jar of dip, that's usually with the first coat only. And then once you go in for your second dip, you usually are right back to normal the way it should be and no issues. And with this being a darker pigmented color, I actually had no issues whatsoever. It was full coverage, even with me missing a little bit in a couple spots. Like here on my index finger, you can see where it kind of missed a little bit up at my cuticle area, but you will see after I dip in, it is all good. I didn't even feel like I needed to go in and do a third dip. It was fully opaque for me, just fine. So I'm going to finish up my dips. I'm going to clear cap and activate my pinky and my thumb. And I'm only going to show you me clear capping just my thumb, just because y'all have already seen it before, but I'm going to let you watch, and I'll be back to go over the glitter in just a second. Alright, so I went ahead and activated those couple black nails, and now I'm going to get into this gorgeous glitter. I will leave links for everything down below. I'm just going to pour out just about like half the jar, because most of it I am going to do like sprinkle, vertical, ombre type situation. But here's my little trick that I'm going to show you first if you're one that has the issue often to where the dip doesn't adhere in the first, the first coat that you do. I'm going to just take in this case, I'm using the dip top coat, because you all know that I use my dip top coat for glitter colors because I usually use gel. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint on a real thin layer of my dip top coat over my whole entire nail for my middle finger, and I'm going to let that dry. And that's just going to add like a little layer onto my nail, because if it's going to dry super fast, it's going to dry this layer. It's not going to add any thickness to my nail whatsoever because I'm not dipping it right away. So I've just applied that. I'm going to let that dry, and then I will just dip as normal. So definitely try doing that little technique if you are one that has issues with your dip being kind of patchy on the first coat. So now I'm going to start with my ombre. I'm just going to do my vertical ombre on those two nails first while I let my middle finger dry. I'm just taking this smaller eyeshadow brush. I like to use a smaller eyeshadow brush just because I feel like I have a little bit more control than if I were to use one of those bigger sized. This is more of a blending brush, I would say, than an actual eyeshadow brush. So I am going to just apply my dip liquid to my whole entire nail, as you see I'm doing right here. And I'd say do like a medium consistency type of coat, because if you do it too thin, it might dry a little bit fast on you, which you could honestly do that too. You might just have to go back in and add a little bit more base in certain spots. And I'm going to use my brush and I'm going to tilt my finger towards the cupcake liner, and that's going to give me that really nice ombre fade. I like doing it this way with the smaller brush too, because the smaller brush tends to pick up majority just the finer glitter, so that really pretty like rose gold glitter, because I prefer to do more of like a glitter placement with the chunkier glitters, just because I feel like I can get them to lay flatter if I individually place them. Also, I'm sure you've noticed I am not using my traditional little toothpicks. I actually saw Carol Annette use this tool that I've been using to go around my cuticles. It is a water marble tool. I'll leave it linked for you guys in the description box as well. So if you want to try that, it's so great because I don't have to buy toothpicks anymore. And if I get an accumulation of dip up on the water marble tool, I can just file it right off and then I'm good to go for my next mani. So it's super fine. It does a great job of getting around my cuticles and my sidewalls really, really well. So I'm really enjoying that too. I know a lot of other girls have started using the metal toothpicks, and I was actually going to try to get one of those. I saw Kate from Kate's Nail Corner use one in one of her videos, but they were sold out when I went to get it. So I got this water marble tool instead, and I actually really, really love it. So I'm going to finish up my ombre. Like I said, I'm going to do a little glitter placement with the chunkier glitters, and then I'm going to dip my middle finger twice. Well, not really dip. I'm going to lay into the glitter so that it lays flat. And I do also do the little glitter placement on my middle finger as well, just to add any glitters where I feel they need to be. So I'm going to let you guys watch and I'll be back. going to do is, since my ombre is done and I still have a little bit of the base still on my nail and it's wet, I'm going to actually use this as an opportunity to press those chunkier glitters down that I placed. And a good little trick, I should really use a baggie, but I'm lazy and I just use my finger and then I file off any of the dip that gets on my finger. But you can actually dip your finger into your clear dip and that will kind of help it a little bit from sticking to your finger too much. So that's all I'm going to do there. Plus I wanted to dry up some of that base, so I just do a quick little dip in the clear, and it also kind of helps to not make your nails uneven, because when you do an ombre you have, you know, a little bit more height on the one side where the glitter is, so the clear will kind of help to fill that in. So now I'm just going to go in and do these 2 dips, so I will let you watch and I'll be back in a sec. Alright, so I have all of my dip done. I'm just going to go ahead and do my 2 coats of activator as I always do. I had no issues with any of these liquids. I felt like they all applied beautifully. The activator did its job, hardened it up super nice and fast and perfect. And even though I use gel top coat in this video for my mani like I always do, I ended up, my gel for some reason peeled up on my middle finger. So I actually ended up buffing that off and doing the Mani Boss dip top coat on that finger. So you will see that in the reveal photos. And to be honest, you can't even really tell the difference between the dip top coat and the gel top coat. It was just my middle finger that had the dip top coat on there, and it is super, super shiny. So I think in my next video, when I use the dip liquids, I think I'm going to actually do the dip top coat so that you guys can see the full experience from these liquids. They're really good. These are definitely going to go into my little rotation. I am going to continue to use these and let you guys know what I think the more and more that I use them. So my activator is done. I went ahead and filed and shaped, did all that good stuff off camera. And now I'm just going to go in and do my gel top coat using my Triple D gel top coat. Of course, it is my current fave. Definitely the best top coat I have found gel-wise to go with peel base. My nails pretty much last me as long as I want them to. I haven't had one just randomly pop off when I use the Triple D top coat. I have to, you know, file my free edge and then I can get them to pop off. I do plan on doing an updated peel base video, so that will be coming soon. So I cannot talk, you guys. I will keep you guys posted on when I plan to upload that. So I'm going to apply my gel top coat. I'm going to cure for 60 seconds, and then I will be back to show you the finished mani. I am all cured, and here is my finished mani. This, oh, y'all know how I feel about darker colors. I love this with everything in me. These colors were just so gorgeous. They pair so well together, I think. I love pairing like pinks and blacks together. It's just, I love them. Love them, love them, love them. So I will leave links for everything down below. I have a link for Candy Skincare as well. If you are in need of some cuticle oil, definitely go check them out. You can use my code save a couple bucks. The mani on my left hand is a review of a dip kit, which you guys will be seeing next week. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you all in my next one. Bye, guys.